Yes, you said the bashing kind of all stopped in the early 90s. And you mentioned that, there was all this police disciplinary action. But people's minds don't change overnight as far as homophobia and all that. Was something else happening that made things change?
I wrote articles in the gay press, in the rags, in the bars, in the center post. I wrote articles, bashed to death. I wanted people to know what was going on, the extent of what was going on, and there's a big issue. But I also wrote articles in the LA Times and the Press Telegram to let the straight community know what's going on. Then, when we trained the police officers, and we had a chief that took it seriously, that people did their job to serve and protect, then I had to get the word out that it was okay to report. So all the calls that came into the hotline for 6 years, they went from 42 down to 0. In 1992, went down to 0. Being advertised at the same level everywhere, every bar, every rag, all the time. The calls just went down, and people were calling the police department. And I know for a fact that they were taking reports. When I went to see the chief, I'd go to his office, and on the wall in front of his door, the surrounding his door, were letters that I wrote to all these officers, actually to the chief, commending this officer for taking report, this officer for being respectful, this officer, for doing his job and being courteous. The letters were all over the hallway leading to the police chief's office. So I know it was a big... I've had people, when I was doing this, sergeants, lieutenants, asking me for letters. I wouldn't write them. I only wrote them when there was an officer contacted by, with a victim, and I got the victim's response, and if it was good, I wrote a letter to the chief commending that officer. I didn't realize I had so much power.